Hello, today on Lisa's List, we're going to talk window boxes, so stay tuned. Hello everyone, and welcome to Lisa's List. I'm Lisa Patterson with Daniel Ravenel Sotheby's International Realty in beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. And today we're going to talk window boxes. Anyone that's ever paid a visit to Charleston down in the historic district have seen the fabulous window boxes on every house downtown. The pictures of those circulate on social media, magazines and newspapers all across the country. So I thought it'd be fun today. The ladies are going to be here to do my window boxes. And I wanted you to meet Debbie from Pots of Color. She is the person behind most of the window boxes in downtown Charleston. This is one of the window boxes. It's a finished product, but she and her staff are going to show you start to finish how to get a window box like this. She's going to give you tips and the tricks on how to have a Charleston window box. So let's see what they're going to do.
Hi, I'm Debbie Kaminsky with Pots of Color, and this is...
I'm Sarah Petrowski. I'm the designer for Patterson.
And we are going to do a window box pot up here at Lisa's house. And this is a really special garden because it's mixed with eclectic and cottage. So this is kind of the design element that we use to design this particular window box. So here we go. We're going to start with a caladium as our thriller.
And don't be scared when planting. So many people are worried about how are we doing the root ball. Like, you should watch this. We manipulate it, we squish it down to make room for other plants. It's totally fine. They don't have to stay around ball. The roots need to actually be broken up so they can find their way in the soil. The biggest thing is making sure you do not put soil on top of this root ball, because then you will get crown rot, and that does kill a lot of plants. It happens slowly, so you won't even know what happened, but more than likely, that's the culprit.
All right, so now we're going to add some height on either side of this caladium. This is a Gumphrina.
So this is from the ping pong series of Gumphrina, so it's going to get about 12 inches tall. And we like using it because it's kind of like having a grass texture, but you still get a flower because it has that lovely wispiness to it.
So you kind of have your thriller, but you have kind of a balancing thriller on either side. So the next thing we're going to do is add what we like to call the highlights of the window box.
Or lowlights in this case, but this color is just gorgeous with the house. That's why we picked it out. This is Alternanthera. It's like a really hardy coleus. It's got a nice shiny foliage. It's drought tolerant. It has a slower growth habit, so it's not getting out of control like a coleus can. And this is a new variety that came out a few years ago called Brazilian Red Hots, which just has this lovely pink color. The other thing I'm planting is you do kind of want to look, we call it finding the face of the plant, so that it's filling in the spaces that you need. The other thing you'll notice is that when designing, it's very important, if you have something with this big, bold texture like the caladium leaf, being able to balance it nearby with something with a smaller leaf is very important. That's how you get that contrast in texture. It makes them both pop in the end. You don't want to have everything big and chunky. You'll just lose it. So you got to make sure you're changing those textures up.
And a big part of this is really plant selection in the beginning. You want to spend time at your nursery to pick out the plants where these two kind of are very similar in shape, and just kind of get the visual concept of what you want before you even plant. And really, a lot of time we say the time in doing this is the thought process, picking the plants out before planting is quick, but it's actually resourcing the plants and finding them the right scale to fit the window box.
The other thing that we do is we also really enjoy sourcing plants that are grown here in South Carolina and that are grown by small business owners, because they do put more care and love into their plants that they're growing. So we have hardier, healthier plants that are going to give you longevity. Where some of the box stores, they do have good stuff, but sometimes they've been mistreated for so long, they just don't have they're not as healthy.
Agreed.
So everything that we're using today has all been grown in South Carolina by small business owners. And you'll see in the future, it shows. good quality product.
Very good.
And this we added, so this is actually our thriller. We added this bromeliad. It's called guacamole. It's gonna, even with the added sun, it's gonna get even more raspberry on the tips of the bromeliad. So this is a Neurogilia bromeliad. So it can take sun. It's actually very cold hardy. And this is where we're getting our color. But this is our big impact. And you'll see that when we put it in, we left it in its pot because they like to stay drier than the others and nice and compact. And so what we do is just sink the pot in. But we're doing it on a tilt like this because we kind of want it to be a big bow in the front of this planter. A big just burst coming out.
Yes. Drama, we love drama. Only good drama though.
So then,
okay.
Well, this is what we got. We have trailing vinca here from the Nirvana series. So you'll see those bigger flowers. And then also, but I mean, look how gorgeous these plants
come
are.
on. That is like yummy instant gratification.
This is our favorite grower, Dan, grew
really?
these. He's just a genius in his field.
Total genius.
Look at this.
And that just kind of
Fills under there and pops.
And a lot of these window boxes, you really want to maintain them. You want to maintain them in their shape. So, for instance, in the next couple of months, or weeks rather, this is going to kind of grow into there. And you just want to make sure you deadhead and clip around that so that every plant is featured in this window box throughout the year. And that's why maintenance is so important with
Cutting
window
back
boxes.
is, plants like to be cut back. They're going to be more proliferous, like when you cut them back. You're actually kind of like taunting them. Every time you cut them back, they're like, oh yeah, I'm just going to grow even bigger. I'm going to flower even more. That's why deadheading is so important.
Huge.
The more you deadhead, the more a flower is going to want to flower.
They will perform for you.
And you'll see, we didn't show you before we started planting, we actually already mixed in a slow release fertilizer into these boxes. We use Osmocote as our favorite for the summer. And normally it should be replied about every month. The packaging says 3 months, but because of our climate and the amount we have to water and the heat, the fertilizer gets released and used up quickly.
Yes.
So you do have to put it out a little bit more often here in the South than they say. This is, we're doing sun impatience right now.
Yeah.
And this is our depth. That's the other thing when doing designing. Like, you'll notice that this is pretty monochromatic, but we like that. We like color blocking, like picking a color like pinks and going with all the shades of pink. And this is kind of like a raspberry that we're working with too. But it's always really important to have some light shades with dark shades. And again, that's all in the spirit of contrast to make each other pop.
And we just got so excited when we saw these tips and how that's going to pull together, and it's just going to get darker with the sun. So I'm excited about that.
I know, that was, and then
We get excited.
this next one that we're planting, these are actually trailing pentas.
Love these plants.
I mean, they're amazing. So these are actually going to come down over. We're used to, in the future, just that, like the past, we've always had upright pentas. In the last few years, they came out and bred these trailing ones. And again, our favorite thing about this color is the light pink, but then it has these dark centers. And that also helps them to pop.
And it just goes so nicely with the house. So, I mean,
It's like they were made for your house.
Mother Nature just knew. Okay. So we'll put those in. And again, you've got this like little texture against this fatty leaf, and it just all kind of goes together. And the final is going to be this Blue Days, which pulls the blue throughout the house. There's little pockets of blue and pink. So we thought we'd repeat that color palette and bring it into the window box because, you know, you really want your window boxes to be a reflection of what's going on the house and inside. And so you want to bring the indoors out and then also make everything be a cohesive plan. So like bright orange would not work here. Or
It could. You know how we love
a
orange
coral
and
could
pink.
work. A coral could work.
But we
But
like
like
our
a-
orange and pink.
A bright red orange, I don't know, would really work very well here.
So that last one we just added was Blue Days, which is extremely heat and sun tolerant. And actually, it's a new Blue Days they came out with called Blue My Mind. And it is a better Blue Days. It doesn't seem to close up at night like the old ones did. It has a little bit more of a silver tone to the foliage. The flowers are a little bit bigger. The blue is brighter. And it's really a great performer.
Love it.
So that's going to be our finished product. Now you want to make sure you water it in really good. That's the other thing we should have started with too. Whenever planting a window box, you want to make sure that every plant that you're planting is well watered before you plant. You don't want to plant dry plants. Water everything first, then you plant, and then we'll water everything in again to make sure that it's all nice and settled. We'll also go through with some soil and make sure there aren't any holes that fill in. Again, making sure that we don't put soil on top of the root balls.
Yep. So here's your little piece of Charleston charm.